We always have haters in everything.
Oh yeah, that comes with. That's when you know you're doing something right too. Sometimes
that part. So I'm doing a great job.
Shante walked in there and called his name one time, Calvin. In front of Naomi Campbell.
Yes, sir.
In front of Diddy. And looked at me. I took my hat off. I said, yes, ma'am.
I believe there are some gay rappers that just ain't came out the closet. But as time moves on, everybody accepts everybody, and I feel like there will be an acceptance of it. It's just a matter of who will be, the first one to come out of the closet.
Did Snoop's wife just expose a plot against him? And what does this have to do with his shocking fallout with Diddy?
I'm used to it now. It's been a very long time.
The alleged connection to the gay mafia, leaked tapes, and dark truths about freak-offs. Are we watching the unraveling of hip-hop's biggest player?
I believe there are some gay rappers that just ain't came out the closet.
And here's where it gets even messier. A cryptic message from Snoop's wife has fans questioning if someone close to the Dogfather might be plotting his downfall.
I've been with Snoop forever, and, people are haters. People don't want to see you grow, don't want to see you come up.
How does all of this connect to Tupac, Biggie, and the legendary feud that shaped rap history? Let's dig into the scandals, the accusations, and the dangerous games being played. Shante Broadus has been by Snoop's side through thick and thin, and in 2021, she even took on the role of managing his career. She's been the driving force behind Snoop's success, making sure he stays on top of his game in the cutthroat industry. Their relationship is the envy of many, and for good reason. They've weathered the storms of fame together and come out stronger on the other side. Snoop has credited Shante with being his rock, the one who keeps him grounded amidst all the chaos of celebrity life. And speaking of chaos, Snoop hasn't been shy about sharing his experiences working in Hollywood. He's peeled back the curtain on the dark side of the industry, shedding light on the shady dealings that often go unnoticed by the public. And it seems like Shante has been right there with him, backing up his claims and providing evidence to support what he's saying. For context, a recently resurfaced video of Candyman explains how Shante rescued Snoop Dogg from falling into the hands of Diddy's weird, freaky parties.
Shante walked in there and called his name one time, Calvin. In front of Naomi Campbell.
Yes, sir.
In front of Diddy. And looked at me. I took my hat off. I said, yes, ma'am.
Candyman went on to add that everyone in the room respected Shante's decision to get her husband out of that party.
When it come down to the wife, that's golden with the players.
In any case, one thing Snoop and Shante currently agree on is that Hollywood isn't always what it seems. Behind the glitz and glamour, there's a whole lot of drama and deceit lurking in the shadows. Snoop has even echoed Cat Williams' warnings about certain industry bigwigs, hinting that there's more to their lavish parties than meets the eye.
Diddy be wanting the body, and you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
Through it all, Snoop and Shante have remained a united front. They've faced the challenges of Hollywood together, standing tall against the tide of rumors and scandals. And it's clear that their bond is stronger than ever, built on a foundation of trust and mutual respect. However, there have been times when even Snoop's wife couldn't shield him from the predatory grip of the industry. For context, Courtney Burgess, a witness in Diddy's case, recently claimed that Kim Porter's diary is packed with stories about the unusual relationship between Diddy and Snoop Dogg.
Even Snoop. You understand? And a lot of more people, their career went up when they sat on this man's lap as the director. You understand?
Oh, man.
And that's why a lot of them sold their soul to be on the director chair.
Now, these are two hip-hop legends, right? Both are known for their tough gangster images. But apparently, Kim's diary suggests there were moments between them that seemed very different. We're talking about Snoop and Diddy being spotted in what some might call intimate situations, even holding hands at private events. Now, these are two hip-hop legends, right? Both are known for their tough gangster images. But apparently, Kim's diary suggests there were moments between them that seemed Very different. We're talking about Snoop and Diddy being spotted in what some might call intimate situations, even holding hands at private events. Yeah, you heard that right. The diary supposedly describes them sharing some really close moments, way closer than most people would expect from two men who've built their reputations around being tough and untouchable. It's not the type of thing you'd ever imagine from them, which makes it all the more surprising. But here's the twist. Kim's notes hint that there was something deeper going on. This wasn't just about being friends. It's rumored that there was a sort of deal or understanding between them, an arrangement that could have played a part in helping Snoop's career in the highly competitive hip-hop scene. And Diddy's alleged influence wasn't just limited to Snoop. Kim's diary reportedly mentions a string of similar interactions, even naming other big names in the industry, like Neo and Andre Harrell. There are even supposed photos that capture Diddy in close moments with these other figures.
They got Diddy and Neo. And if you heard Neo's wife call him Little Diddy, that he likes free golf. And you got Andre Harrell, he hugged up like they finished tongue kissing. You know, we don't hug on our boys like that, sitting at close on each other's lap.
And here's where things get even darker. Kim's notes suggest that Diddy might have had what you could call double agents. People in his circle who weren't just working for him, but were also connected to rival camps like Tupac's crew. These insiders might have been secretly passing info back to Diddy.
Double agent. You understand? He was a double agent for the record label. And he was a snitch for the LAPD.
But the claims don't stop there. According to Kim's diary, Diddy's reach went way beyond his own empire. He allegedly had a hand in shaping hip-hop culture itself. The diary hints at Diddy pushing certain narratives, like introducing same-as themes into the industry, possibly to test the boundaries of what was acceptable, and maybe to serve his own interests. And then there's the wildest part. Some pages of Kim's diary reportedly include censored details that point directly to Snoop Dogg, stuff that goes as far as describing them sharing a bed.
There's a bunch of X's for certain people's names. Like who was the X's that was taken out of the book?
The X's was for Snoop, about him sleeping with, supposed to be in the bed with Diddy.
Whoa, that's crazy.
They caught it.
But the biggest kicker is how Snoop's career took off after he left Death Row Records and teamed up with Diddy. This move launched him into a new level of fame, but it's got people wondering, what was the real price of that partnership? On the surface, it looked like a smart career move. But insiders are now questioning whether their professional relationship had more layers than anyone could have guessed. With Diddy's influence, Snoop shed the shadows of death row. But his proximity to Diddy could also have entangled him in the controversies surrounding Tupac and Biggie's deaths. Snoop found himself at the center of a narrative he couldn't escape. However, in recent years, it seems Snoop has tried to escape the clasps of the industry by exposing it. In fact, he recently called out Diddy the so-called gay mafia.
I believe there are some gay rappers that just ain't came out the closet. But as time moves on, everybody accepts everybody, and I feel like there will be an acceptance of it. It's just a matter of who will be, the first one to come out of the closet.
What's more, Snoop has slowly been revealing all the shady things he has done with Diddy. You see, the biggest kicker is how Snoop's career took off after he left Death Row Records and teamed up with Diddy. This move launched him into a new level of fame, but it's got people wondering, what was the real price of that partnership? On the surface, it looked like a smart career move, but insiders are now questioning whether their professional relationship had more layers than anyone could have guessed. With Diddy's influence, Snoop shed the shadows of death row, but his proximity to Diddy could also have entangled him in the controversies surrounding Tupac and Biggie's deaths. Snoop found himself at the center of a narrative he couldn't escape. In a recent interview, Mopreme Shakur stirred the pot by implying Diddy might have had a hand in taking out Tupac. Just when people thought this cold case was done and dusted, Las Vegas detectives arrested Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a 60-year-old gang leader with deep ties to some serious street business. Keefe D's name has been floating around the hip-hop conspiracy ether for years, so the fact that authorities just now picked him up has left everyone wondering, what took so long?
For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith.
Last year, Keefe D's arrest sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, offering a glimmer of hope for those still craving justice for Tupac. But for Mopreme Shakur, this moment feels more like déjà vu than victory. He described it as bittersweet, his raised eyebrow conveying the fact that they had been well aware of Keefe D's involvement for many years. The million-dollar question that continues to loom large is, why did it take authorities so long to apprehend a suspect who had been openly divulging his role in the crime?
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac?
Yeah.
Okay.
According to Mo Preem, this arrest hasn't provided the closure that many had hoped for. Instead, it has stirred up past traumas. For decades, Tupac's family has borne the weight of mourning the loss of an iconic figure without any semblance of retribution. Over the years, a multitude of conspiracy theories have swirled around the unalivement, and a solitary arrest is unlikely to alter people's perspectives. Mo Preem firmly believes that more individuals were involved in his brother's unalivement, and he is urging authorities to intensify their investigation to identify everyone responsible.
We deal with the loss. My nieces, nephews, my sister, my brothers, we all miss him.
Now, Mo Preem didn't point fingers directly. He's careful with his words. But the way he talked about Diddy's possible involvement got people side-eyeing all over again. It's no secret that Tupac and Diddy were knee-deep in the East Coast-West Coast beef, so it's not that wild of an idea. Diddy had a lot to lose if Tupac stayed on top. Bad Boy Records and Death Row were basically at war. But here's where things get weird, because this isn't just about Diddy. Snoop Dogg, of all people, is also caught in the crossfire. And the rumors about Snoop's role in all this, they go way deeper than most people realize. Snoop Dogg and Tupac were supposed to be tight. They were both on Death Row Records, rolling with Suge Knight and dropping bangers left and right. But as things started heating up between the East and West Coast camps, Snoop wasn't exactly riding for Tupac the way everyone expected. Rumor has it that Snoop started getting real buddy-buddy with Diddy, which didn't sit right with Tupac. Let's be honest, Tupac was out here calling out Bad Boy and going full savage on Hit 'Em Up. And meanwhile, Snoop was apparently playing it safe and staying friendly with the enemy.
There's no dream of making an album with Biggie and Puffy, or none of them. We're not sweating it like that.
This is our family
We
over
peacefully
here.
coexist right now because we all cool. Everybody's here. They sell records. We sell records. Well, I guess you could call that selling records what they do.
Things got so tense between Snoop and Tupac that there are stories of Tupac straight up ignoring Snoop during a flight back from New York, just days before Tupac was gunned down in Vegas. Snoop even admitted in later interviews that Tupac gave him the cold shoulder during that trip. Can you imagine the tension on that plane? Two rap legends sitting in silence, knowing they were drifting apart. Wild stuff. But the real kicker came from Suge Knight. Now, Suge isn't exactly known for holding back. This dude throws accusations like confetti. Over the years, he's floated the idea that Snoop Dogg might have been involved in some way with Tupac's unalivement. Suge Knight has resurfaced with additional revelations about the inner workings of the 90s West Coast hip-hop scene, asserting his significant role in the Snoop Dogg M case. An installment of Collect Call with Suge Knight, broadcast on November 9th last year through Dave Mays' Breakbeat Media, delves into how the former Death Row Records head claims to have saved Snoop Dogg from a potential life sentence.
So what you mean when you say that he'd still be in prison?
Because when Snoop got convicted for...
Knight boldly asserted, if it weren't for me, Snoop would still be in prison doing life, as he recounted the events leading to the infamous trial. In 1993, Snoop Dogg and his former bodyguard Malik faced first and second-degree unalivement charges related to the death of Philip Little Smooth Woldemariam in Los Angeles. Detailing the legal strategy, Knight recalled a crucial moment. The lawyer said, well, the bodyguard has a 9mm, so we can't say he protected Snoop and shot the guy. Snoop had a .380 Belwaso. I said, we'll be effed if the bodyguard had a .380 and Snoop had a 9mm, and he got shot with a .380, right? He got shot with a 9mm, but since Snoop had the .380 and the bodyguard had a 9mm and he got shot with a .380, all the bodyguard got to say is he was using .380 bullets in his 9mm. Knight continued to explain his intervention, claiming to have spent $6 million to tie up loose ends. This included settling a blackmail attempt within Snoop's circle, even meeting with a private investigator to set the record straight. According to Knight, this intervention led to the destruction of an alleged incriminating tape.
Got through a gang sign to them. They start chasing them in a Jeep I got. They shoot. And the guy got shot and ricocheted up in right?
Suge Knight raised some serious questions about Snoop Dogg's claim to Death Row Records, hinting that Snoop might not have obtained it fairly. In an audio call shared by TMZ in April 2023, Suge, who's serving time, voiced doubts about Snoop's role as the owner and CEO of the iconic label. According to Suge, Snoop's stake might be linked to some shady dealings with Michael Harry O. Harris, a convicted drug lord who initially funded Death Row Records back in the day.
Correct.
Right. If you look at it, they committed fraud. They committed bankruptcy fraud. I didn't lose my company by doing anything wrong. They went in.
When asked what he thought of Snoop taking over the label, Suge didn't hold back. He called out Harris, saying he believes the guy engaged in bankruptcy fraud, and Suge claims his legal team found evidence of this just a week before the call. In Suge's words, Snoop has a partner, which is Michael Harris, right? They committed bankruptcy fraud. I didn't lose my company by doing anything wrong. They went in, and the lawyer didn't show up, and they got a default judgment. I settled the judgment. They turned around and said I didn't settle the judgment. Suge also alleged that the wholesale of Death Row was not just shady, but outright illegal. He accused Harris's wife and her legal team of knowingly lying in their bankruptcy filings from back in 1995. According to him, they denied having any ties to Death Row at the time, which Suge believes was a total cover-up.
The lawyer didn't show up, and they got a default judgment. I settled the judgment. They turned around and said I didn't settle the judgment. But they could...
Building his case, Suge argued that the transfer of Death Row Records ownership wasn't just a minor technicality. He sees it as a direct injustice, claiming that Harris, who he views as a criminal, took advantage of a legal loophole to strip Death Row from its black founders, and in his words, attempted to hand it over to white people. Suge's adamant that Death Row belongs to him, saying, I am Death Row. Suge Knight is Death Row. He doesn't seem to be backing down from his stance anytime soon.
And you can't commit bankruptcy fraud and settle and do those types of things. So the same guy you see in the series, when you see all his deposition in prison.
Meanwhile, in February 2022, Snoop publicly announced that he'd bought Death Row Records through a deal with MNRK Music Group. The full details of the transaction weren't made public, but Snoop expressed how monumental it was for him to finally own a piece of the label that launched his career. He called it a full circle moment, sharing, "It feels good to have ownership of the label I was part of at the beginning of my career and as one of the founding members." But this isn't the only time Snoop has had a dramatic encounter with Death Row. He recently shared a story on BET's No Limit Chronicles about a scary run-in with Death Row associates after he left the label. The incident went down at the No Limit Records I Got the Hookup Comedy Jam in Los Angeles in May 1998, when Snoop had just switched over to No Limit Records. Suge's loyalists weren't too happy with Snoop's comments about Suge after he left, and they confronted him about it. When someone asked Snoop what he thought of Suge's remark that he'd gone from superstar to No Limit soldier, Snoop kept it cool, replying, "Nothing," and took a shot at Suge, adding, "He used to be a CEO, now he's just an inmate," flipping a middle finger at the camera for good measure. The confrontation backstage escalated quickly, with Suge's associates surrounding Snoop and demanding he apologize to Suge. Snoop didn't back down, though, and when things got physical, chaos erupted. Luckily, Snoop got away unharmed, but the other No Limit rappers, including Master P, stopped their show and rushed backstage to back him up.
Suge Knight made money in rap. Master P put money in rap.
Break that down.
Big difference. When I was on Death Row Records, we made a lot of money.
Amid the turmoil, with gunshots on the song playing in the background, the unaware audience contributed to the confusion, leading to a riot. Despite evading the attack, Snoop's night took another unexpected turn. Trying to save himself, Snoop inadvertently encountered law enforcement, who found M in his possession. He was handcuffed and placed in the back of a police car. He said, "I get away, no cuts, no scars, no hits, no nothing," Snoop said. "But I run right into the law with weed in my pocket and everything because I'm trying to save my life. They handcuffed me. They put me in back of the police car." Snoop Dogg and his cousin, rapper Daz Dillinger, found themselves in jail that night due to marijuana possession. To their surprise, upon entering the jail, they discovered the presence of a familiar face. Ray J, reflecting on the incident with laughter, Snoop shared, "They take me and my cousin Daz to jail, and when we get in there, Ray J is in there. So we spend 4 hours in jail with Ray J. I'm not fabricating this, man. I'm not making this up." The shocking part in all these things is Snoop's unalivement. In an interview on the Black Effect podcast network with Cam Capone News, McKinley Lee Jr., Snoop Dogg's former bodyguard, provided a detailed account of the 1993 unalivement of a rival gang member that led to first-degree unalivement charges for both Snoop and Lee.
When I tell you this story, you're going to find out that it was about Snoop, but it really wasn't about Snoop because they knew the truth. And then,
according to Suge, Snoop was looking out for himself and might have had a little too much loyalty to Diddy back in the day. Suge even hinted that Snoop may have distanced himself from Tupac on purpose, knowing things were about to go down. Of course, Snoop's denied this every chance he's gotten. He's always tried to paint a picture of him and Tupac being besties to the end, but people aren't exactly buying it. In fact, some fans and insiders have pointed out that Snoop's stories about Tupac have changed over the years, and not in a good way. One minute, he's saying they were close. The next minute, he's downplaying their friendship. And let's be real, when your story keeps changing, it only makes you look more suspicious.
Because we were death row, and that's the life we was living. We felt like we was untouchable until that fatal day.
What really gets people talking is how Snoop acted after Tupac was offed. While most of death row was devastated, Snoop seemed to be, well, weirdly chill about the whole thing. He kept his distance from Suge and the death row crew after Tupac's death and eventually jumped ship to sign with Master P's No Limit Records. People started wondering if Snoop knew something everyone else didn't. Like maybe he was trying to get as far away from the situation as possible before things blew up. And then there's that time Snoop casually dropped the bomb that he smoked with Tupac the night before the Vegas shooting, a claim that other people close to Tupac have said is pure cap. It's little things like this that have fans side-eyeing Snoop, wondering if he's trying to rewrite history to make himself look innocent.
I'm Snoop Dogg. I never had any beef with anybody from the East. I'm here to make good music. That's what I signed my contract to Death Row Records for, to make good music and perform and put out good albums.
Now, here's where things get really interesting. Mopreme Shakur hasn't accused Snoop of anything directly, but if this case ever gets reopened, there's a chance Snoop's name could come up. With Suge Knight still sitting in prison, throwing out wild accusations, and Mopreme calling for answers about Diddy's involvement, it wouldn't take much for Snoop to get pulled into the drama. And let's be honest, if investigators start connecting the dots between Snoop, Diddy, and Tupac's unalivement, things could get messy fast. Snoop's been living his best life lately, but if any of these old rumors get traction, he might have to answer some uncomfortable questions. In any case, now that Snoop is allegedly trying to clear his name, his wife has been standing firmly by his side. You see, Snoop and his wife, Shante Broadus, share a love story that's as iconic as his music career. The two first met in high school, long before Snoop's rise to fame. Shante, often referred to as the boss lady, has been with him through thick and thin, from his days as an aspiring rapper in Long Beach to becoming a global hip-hop icon. Their relationship hasn't been without its challenges. Fame brought temptation, rumors, and even periods of separation. Yet, despite everything, Shante has remained a grounding force in Snoop's life. She's been a pillar of strength during his darkest moments, offering him unwavering support, especially as he faces intense scrutiny from the public and industry alike. Now, as Snoop reportedly works to clear his name and address controversies that have surfaced, Shante's loyalty is more evident than ever. But with years of being planted in an industry riddled with darkness and deception, will Snoop truly be able to uproot himself and escape its grip for good? Only time will tell. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.